Hey everybody, welcome to Jurassic Peck Farms. I'm Marjorie, and today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my brooder for my new baby chicks. I have used this for ducklings, I have used this for baby chicks. They both work really well. I normally have a bigger one that I start them with, and I have a little perforated cardboard piece that I put around them. But I have this smaller one today, and so I'm going to try this for their first 2 weeks, and then I'm going to set up their bigger one when they get a little older. It's just going to be a little bit easier for me to do, and I did have to buy this to quarantine some chickens every once in a while. And I thought this would be a really good solution for me right now. But normally I do have the extra large one. I bought it 4 years ago when I first started doing chicks, and it has worked really, really well. I just thought I'd do this one because it's a little easier to show you how I set it up. So one of the things I do is I actually have a little sheet that I put down underneath. It's like a little plastic sheet. You don't have to use this. I just like to do this. It makes it easier to clean the bedding out. A few things you're going to want to make sure you do before you start is you're going to want to make sure that you have this set up before your baby chicks arrive. You want to make sure things like your heating plate are all set up and warm, that they're actually working. You're going to want to have your shavings. These are pine shavings. Make sure you're not using cedar or cedar shavings. They are not good for the respiratory system of chickens in general, but especially baby chicks. They're very tiny, they're very vulnerable. And the reason you want to have this set up ahead of time is because when they come home, you want to get them right in there. You want to dip their beak in some water, you want to show them where the food is, and you want to get them under that hot plate if they want it. I like to use this plate. It really has worked well for me in the past. I did used to use a bulb, and then I will use a ceramic bulb that you use like for lizards and so forth, and that's worked really well too. I just have found that this has been a game changer, and because I brood chicks almost every year, I did invest in one. This is not anything super special, but I did plug it in because I wanted to make sure it was working. If I put my hand under it, I can feel it already starting to heat up. Because my baby chick should be coming tomorrow. So here we go. I'm just kind of keeping this on the side here. I didn't mean it to hang there, but it just magically worked. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna make sure you have a water and a little feeder. I like to use just the ones that come from like your regular farm store. I'll show them to you in a second, but first you're gonna wanna get your shavings in there. I've seen people use lots of different things, paper towels and so forth. I just like shavings. They work pretty well. I have 6 or 7 chicks coming, so this will be just fine for the first couple weeks. And then when they get a little bigger, I can move them into the other ones that I normally use. This one does have a mesh zip top on it, which I really like, and it also has a zipping bottom, which is made of the same material this side piece is. It also has 2 doors that I can reach in on either side. I can attach the cables through that instead of having to attach them out the top. Everything works pretty smoothly. So first thing you're gonna do, put in some shavings. You don't necessarily need a ton, but you do wanna make it a nice area for them to run around in. Honestly, I probably didn't need that blue sheet under there the whole way, but I'll probably trim it down so it's not sticking up so much on the edge. But so you're gonna put enough shavings down, maybe like 1 inch or 2. It does compress, but remember they're tiny little baby chicks. So you're gonna wanna put this in. I don't know if you can see this, but it is at an angle. So if it was sitting flat, it would be higher in the front and lower in the back. This is set a little high. This gives them option if they wanna be a little bit warmer, they can go to the back. If they wanna be a little bit colder, they can go to the front, or they don't even need to be in it at all. And you'll notice that I actually have, it's kind of perfect because there is a zipper, so it kind of holds the cable in place. And I can put it up high so nobody trips on it. I can even put that there. So that's staying pretty warm. I got just a few more shavings. Okay, so one thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need some chick starter. I prefer to use non-medicated chick starter. I don't feel like they need any sort of medication unless they're sick, and hopefully they shouldn't be sick. They should arrive all happy and healthy. When they're really little, like the first day or like the first week, honestly, I do leave it open. I try to keep an eye on it because I do have some bantams coming, so they may get like kind of stuck in the top, but I've never actually had one get stuck. So I like to put the food kind of in the center. I do like to put it where it's kind of near the heater because they should be able to come out and get food. They're not going to need to be under there all the time. When I first got chicks, I was really concerned. I was like, oh my gosh, they need to be under the heater all the time. You hear horror stories, you're like, oh no, they were under the heater too much. They got too hot. There was nowhere for them to escape. No, it's fine. They're actually pretty self-sufficient. And then the other thing that I have is their water. So this actually flips upside down. It's just this same container. When I'm carrying it, I always hold it upside down. It tends to splash less. Just helpful hint, like if you're traveling from like your sink or even outside, like it's just easier to hold it upside down. I have in the past put some electrolytes in it. The hatchery that I use does provide some electrolytes. They also provide like a little gruel you can make them when they get there so they can get the electrolytes and the nutrients they need in case they've been in shipping for a long time. But when you do this, you can just flip it over and it does that. I'm gonna set this in here right now just to show you because you need it really low so that the chicks can get into it. However, you don't want them to get shavings all up in it. So what I do, and they're usually big enough to get their beak in there, and you also don't want them to drown in it because they'll just fall asleep whenever they feel like it. I do put it up on like the bottom of, I do have a couple like little platform ones of these that I just use the bottom of and it sits right on top of it. I don't necessarily need to weight it down until they get a little bit older and they get a little excited and they start jumping on everything. So until then, I just kind of leave it like that. And this is pretty much my setup. So I'll zoom you in here so you can see it. So this is pretty much the setup. We got the food right there. I got the water right there. And I got the brooder right there. I'm probably going to lower it a little bit more. Like I said, I'm going to trim the edges. Usually I use the bigger one so it lies flat. But that was the side. The pine shavings in there, not cedar. In general, that's what you want to do. And that's pretty much it. Your baby chicks are going to be all self-sufficient and good to go. I'll come back to you when I get them. All right, guys, well, here they are. They're all happy and healthy from Meyer Hatchery. They're so sweet. They unfortunately didn't have one of the silkies that I wanted, but that's okay. That just means I'm gonna have to order more chicks next year, right? Yeah, I got a lavender Orpington and I got a buff Orpington. We have two types of Morans. I have a golden Moran and then I have a blue one. And then I also have one little silky. That was the only one they have. I'm gonna see if they have any more. You never know, they might have some. But she's a female for sure. That was one of the cool things this year is Meyer Hatchery was able to sex the silkies and all the bantams. So here's a little Rhode Island Red. Actually, I'm gonna set these down so that I can show you how I really do it. So, normally, when you get your chicks, you're gonna wanna pick them up, you're gonna dip their beak in the water. Besides wanting to snuggle them, you're gonna wanna pick them up. This is our little Rhode Island Red. Hi, baby. Yeah, you're gonna dip their beak in the water so they know where the water is, and you're gonna let them go underneath their little warm plate. This is the blue Moran. Come on, water. Yeah, yum, yum, yum. See? Now you let them go underneath. They'll find the heat on their own. This is my blue Orpington. Blue Orpington, she's so cute. Water. All right, there you go, yum, yum. There you go. Get under. Sometimes they do come leg banded. It doesn't look like they did these this time. This is my buff Orpington. This is the other Moran. You're gonna lay pretty little brown eggs. Oh, look. And then last but not least, this is our little, this is the little buff Silky. She's the only one I could get, but I love her. Aren't you so cute? I know, you're a little baby. Little booty under there. So I'll bring you in, but as you can see, they're already drinking. So one of the fun things you can do with them is you can teach them. See? And they learn how to eat. Usually once one of them knows where the food is, the rest follow suit, but you really want to see them eating and drinking. So proud of my little blue Orpington. How cute. See? And then they'll all kind of start to roam around. They're all very happy and healthy. They're all very sweet. I hope you found this video helpful on setting up your brooder for your new baby chicks. I'm going to have more content coming soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.